So these drawings that E.Pruitt here is showing you are mock-ups of our newest version of the Homage bass, which has been modified, more updated headstock. The body has been enlarged slightly with actually a larger cutaway than our previous version has. So it's a beautifully balanced bass. And the other point that we want to make is showing the mock-ups allows the customer to see what the wood choices, how it's going to look on their bass.
Kind of like with the car websites where you can look at the wheels and tell what it.
You can click on and say, oh, I like that 5-spoke mag wheel, or no, I want the 10-spoke,
right?
Or I want blue. I want a metal flake blue. No, I think I want metal flake red, or whatever. So it does the same thing. But this allows you, the customer, to go, what does Buckeye look like with a maple board? Oh, Scott, hey man, would you mind doing me another Buckeye but with an ebony board? Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. So it allows you, the customer, to get a chance to see what your bass is going to look like before you really very much invested in it at all. So
right.
A small deposit will get you those mock-ups.
Let's show the original.
So here is, let's go look at this. This is the mock-up, and the date of that mock-up is 6 months before it became reality, and now here's the real bass. So you can see how close the mock-up is to the real bass. So it gives the customer, once again, it gives the customer a very good idea of what they can expect, how their bass is going to look.
Let me see the back.
Yeah, of course.
Whew, man.
So this is a 39-piece laminated front and back.
What are the woods?
So the thinner stringers, these are all ebony. So this darker chocolate brown is Macassar ebony. Lighter here is flame maple. Then we get into purple heart, Mexican coco bolo, California claro walnut, and then that set repeats itself once again. And this is rock maple with walnut stringers. So
now,
if we look at the front again, so that set kind of repeats.
Now, is this the way the customer wanted it with those different woods like that?
What happened was the customer asked, once again, this is the second bass that the same customer has ordered from me. I think it was probably 6 or 8 years ago he had ordered this model. And he just said, hey man, I love your Regency. I want something kind of like the Les Claypool model, I said, tell you what, I don't really like to knock off other people's products, so let me do something that's unique to Surine. I know what you're talking about. You want a multi-laminated top, but let me do something custom for you. So that's what that was all about.
That's awesome.
Let's see.
But that other Quest 5, the one you kept for yourself,
Oh,
or the Quest 6 that you kept for yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we need to talk about that one.
Okay, so here is E, who's an amazing player. Please go listen to him, check him out. But he has asked me to talk about this Quest 6-string. So back in 2010, I wanted to get this bass built up for actually it was a bass player live in LA. So I had this bass built up for that. And I'm not normally a 6-string player, but I just wanted to have a sample that I can keep on hand to show people. And it just so happens that this wood, this cap wood, is called Emboina burl, which is an African wood. I believe it to be the rarest wood species there is. It's virtually impossible to get a hold of anymore. The core is mahogany, which is always a great choice. Honduran mahogany is great toned wood. It's warm, it's vibrant, it's got a lot of clarity to it. Typically, the neck is rock maple with it's a 7-piece configuration. Most of the stringers are done with walnut. This one just happens to be Paduke, which is another African wood. Lastly, I'll point out is the bridge, which is my own design, the Sonova bridge. And what makes this bridge unique is it's far more versatile than other bridges. You can mount the whole thing as a unit mounted to the plate, so it resonates as one unit. Or if you prefer the individual string mount option, you can simply take the plate off or just order it without the plate and do these as individual string mounts.
That's awesome.
The plate has pre-spaced holes drilled, so you can set this to 19 millimeters, which is what this is at. You could also set it to 18 millimeters. You can spin the plate around, and there's another set of holes to allow you to do 17 or 16 millimeters.
Wow.
But the individual string spacing, I mean, if you were to take the plate off, you could do individuals, so you could do 17 and a half or 19 and a half. So it goes on. The options are virtually infinite. Of course, the bass always has a matching head plate.
And you have the Bartolini's in this one. Which one?
Yeah. So these are the Bartolini P4 soap bars. What's beautiful about the Bartolini soap bars, a little deeper than like something like a Slim Dual. It's a little deeper tone, a little more, I would just say, versatile overall for all styles of music. You can play blues, play reggae, play jazz, you can slap, you can do funk, everything comes out of soap bars. So it's a great sound. I'll put this bass down for a minute. On the contrary to that, or just to contrast that, I should say, is, and please, I refer to this bass as the beater bass because it truly is a beater bass. It's not the prettiest bass on the block, but it's a great sounding bass. It's amazing. Anyway, the reason I pulled this up is I want to talk about the Slim Dual pickups, which I also love. So if you want that Jocko kind of fingerstyle bridge pickup sound, this is the way to go. He has a bass of mine. He has a bass with 3 Slim Duals, 2 butted together at the bridge. The one that's closest to the neck at the bridge is in the 62 jazz bass location. The one behind it is just butted to it, it's butted right to it. So it's probably close to the 70s location. And the way his bass is configured, so each pickup is its own volume. So he can dial in the amount of this pickup to that pickup to all 3. Super versatile.
And you guys who've heard it and played the bass know that it's unbelievable.
Right on, right on. So, this bass also has a bird's eye fingerboard, which the other few you've seen were all ebony boards. So the bird's eye board is great for slap. One thing I don't have shown here is your bass has it, right? Dual-ply board? The ebony underneath it?
Yeah.
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 Okay. So not shown on this bass, but one thing I believe to be unique to Surine brand is I refer to it as a dual-ply board. So you can order a bass with, basically it'd be bird's eye on top, but with an 1/8" layer of ebony underneath it. So the total thickness is like 0.35, whatever it is. So it's maybe a little thicker than your typical fingerboard. But the reason for that is what I had noticed was on stage when I was playing this bass, I had put it down and play an ebony fingerboard bass on stage. In certain rooms, the ebony fingerboard would cut through better, but this bass is greater for slap. I mean, the bird's eye is greater for slap. So I figured, why not combine the two and get the best of both worlds? So, with the dual-ply board, you get the brightness for slap, but you also get the clarity and cut through of an ebony with that extra 1/8" layer underneath it.
Excellent. Excellent.
And that's all I got.
Yeah. Ooh, the single cut.
Yes. Oh yeah, let's talk about single cut. Yes. Single cut. Maybe we'll do a little fretless action on this one too. I'll pull out that fretless. So the single cut, that model is referred to as the Lunera. So this bass is just way too easy to play. Once again, it's an ebony board on this one. The core is swamp ash. Front and back caps are redwood. There we go, redwood burl. This too is the Sonova bridge.
Now, does this one have the staging on the bottom? Yes, it does.
Yeah, the
okay.
plate underneath. Yep, it
Okay.
sure does. And my typical electronic configuration is individual volumes, then bass and treble, concentric, and then mid. And my preference of the individual volumes versus a master volume pickup blend is with the individual volumes. Certain rooms, it's like all I need is my bridge pickup on, and that sounds great. Sometimes the room's a little thin. Maybe I need to dial the neck pickup to maybe half. Maybe I want to reverse it, so I got mostly neck pickup, more of a reggae sound. I'm going to dial out the bridge, get that kind of thing. Maybe I do an equal mix. And, obviously I'm just playing acoustically, but... if I were to dial just the bridge and start to, so you can get the slap jazz bass sound. If I dial them both equally, it's going to be a little bit more alembic-y, if you will. And if I dial just the neck, I'm going to get more of a P bass kind of slap sound. So it's super versatile in that regard too.
That's excellent. Show the back of that. That's a sweet single cut.
So the other thing I wanted to point out is with the Lunera, this is the second of 2 single cut designs. The other one's called the Solera. And the unique thing about our single cuts is this heel is very gradual, where other brands, this ends up being a much more abrupt shape. So ergonomically, it's sitting more comfortably to my torso. I'm not worried about that hard edge kind of cutting into my stomach as I'm playing. If I've eaten a little bit too much that night.
Free food at the gig.
Before the gig,
Yeah.
So, you know, all those things are going into consideration.
Excellent.
Also, you know, as a bass player myself and a designer by trade, ergonomics are super important to me. So you can see how the bass just sits very nicely on my lap. I can sit in this position, or, you know, if I were playing more like a classical player, it sits very comfortably. From the center line to the waist is on average about 4-ish inches, and that's what gives you that kind of very comfortable sitting position playing.
Excellent.
Other models, other builders may not consider this, and it may look super cool if it's cut way up here, but you end up, if you're sitting down, you're hunched way over just to be able to play your bass. So all those things are very much into consideration of design.
It's nice to have a builder who's also a player.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that definitely takes things into consideration.
Yeah. And when you know, a lot of people, I think early on, the headstock was a love-hate relationship. Some people loved it, some people hated it, but there's a real definitive reason for that design. The scale of it, you know, obviously it needs to be large enough to house the tuners, of course, right? But the scale of it was minimized so that it's balanced. If I go to a 7-string, you know, it's going to be as balanced as it can be, because the 7-string is going to start getting very neck heavy, no matter whose bass you pick up. But with the minimized headstock, it allows the fulcrum to kind of stay in this area, so it's going to be as balanced as it can be.
Excellent. What's the new one you got? And tomorrow we're going to be at the Rocky Mountain Bass Slam, folks, and we're going to have some basses there.
So fly out to Golden, Colorado.
Yeah, you got nothing else to do on a Saturday.
Yeah, and I'll just lastly play this bass. It's very personal to me. This is actually serial number 1 of the Quest body style. It was a little wider back then.
This is an original one.
Right.
Okay.
So this is the original Quest. This was before I was involved in the building process, so this bass was completely built by Scott Lofquist. And as of 2005, the build process is kind of an equal mix of myself and Scott Lofquist. But just... So you see it has a plenty of moi to it. It's just a beautiful...
That's nice.
So this bass is a 34-inch scale. One thing I didn't mention is all the other basses were, except for the 4, were 35-inch scale, which is now the standard as of, I think it was 2005. But this bass was a 34, and the sustain is just amazing. So I think it's a perception that 35 needs to be for a 5-string or more. But if there's somebody out there that's like, I can't get comfortable with it, I still need a 34, don't worry, you're going to get plenty of sustain on a Surine bass, 5-string or more.
Surine's got you covered.
Right there. There it is. It's all there. Anyway, but that's it. That's all I got for you.
Excellent. One more. That first one sitting there.
Yep. Well, the first one's sitting there.
I mean, it's like being at Santa Claus's shop at Christmas time.
Let's talk. Santa Claus. What do you have over there?
Exactly. What is that, Santa?
He is so wonderful and saying, "Hey, Scott, don't forget to talk about that one." So this one here is the other basses I've shown you so far all have exotic front and back caps, and the 7-piece necks. So, of course, that's going to add to the cost. A typical exotic cap bass, just the exotic wood alone, is going to be $300 to $400 on average, my cost. So, just know that that's part of the cost of that instrument. So, if you want an incredibly great sounding bass, but you want to save on some cost, you don't have to go the exotic front and back cap. Then you can just do a solid more less exotic wing, or yeah, just wings that are just locally grown wood. So this is swamp ash, North American swamp ash, and the neck, instead of it being 5-piece, it's a 3-piece neck. So just a little simpler construction, but all the electronics are the same. Still Bartolini active electronics, bridge, everything else still same products. So you're getting the best of the products.
Now the bridge is a little different.
Yeah, so this is a hip shot bridge.
Okay.
Which, that's why I don't really necessarily promote the Sonova bridge, because I know it is an additional cost, but we're perfectly happy working with the hip shot bridge. It's a great sounding bridge. Very, it's just great tone, solid brass. Can't go wrong.
Now this bass is going to be closer to a Fender Jazz style, tonally. In some ways.
Probably so, because of the, let's pretend, if these were slim duals or if they were single coils, this bass would sound very much like a jazz bass, just because of the solid swamp ash, which is mixing wood combinations. And, one thing that Ian and I were talking about earlier is the beauty of Bartolini. The reason why I love them so much is I refer to their sound as being transparent, allowing the wood species to really be the voice of that instrument. Again, an ash bass would sound different with these pickups than a mahogany bass. They're both going to sound awesome. They're just going to be tonally, if you A beat them, like, the mahogany's maybe a little warmer. This may have a little more bright presence. So it's really like, what's your preference as a player? If you're like, man, all my gigs, I'm doing a ton of funk, I need that Marcus Miller slap, we're gonna build you an ash bass probably with a bird's eye board. That's probably a given.
That's excellent.
So you can describe what kind of style of music you're playing. We can help recommend some wood choices for you.
Excellent.
But again, the Bartolini, in my opinion, Bartolini's probably one, if not the only, one of the few pickup manufacturers that allows the wood to be the voice.
That's perfect. Preaching to the choir here.
Preaching to the choir.
That's excellent.
Simple beauty.
That is excellent.
So the bass doesn't have to be super elaborate. If you just want a great workhorse instrument, give us a shout.
It's a working man bass.
Really nice.
Excellent. Say goodbye, Scott.
See you later, man.